What's up YouTube, Biohazard here, bringing you a new character guide and combo tutorial video, and in this video we'll be covering Kano's Ripper Tournament Variation. We'll be covering Kano's buttons, special moves, crushing blows, and general game plan, so let's get into it. Some of Kano's best buttons are the down one, the back three, and yeah, that's pretty much it as far as his normals go. His down one is 7 startup frames. It gets about 10 hits of hit advantage, and it's -5 on block. With the down one, you can start to enforce a game plan for him where you do down one into grab. The down one also ticks, so you can do down one into tick throw. And because of Kano's nature of being kind of a rush down maniac, doing down one Kano ball to enforce this kind of playstyle where you're just in their face and just doing stuff is kind of like how you need to play him. He doesn't have the greatest mids. His best mid is back three. It is 16 startup frames, -4 on block. So it's kind of slow. And unfortunately, he kicks them all the way almost half screen when he does this move. So it's not the best for a character like him that wants to be on top of the opponent that he's fighting and just in their face. You know, it doesn't really give him much time to roll in either. As you can see, the opponent is going to get up fast enough so that they can probably punish this roll here. So that's probably not a good game plan. And other than that, his back one is a pretty good mid. Unfortunately, you have to be right in front of their face to hit them. As you can see, the range is not very good. And the only way you're going to be using this move is off of hit confirming down one. So you can hit confirm a down one and do back one into a knife toss. You can meter burn the knife toss, get a little bit more damage. Unfortunately, right once again, you're back to like half screen, and Kano really didn't do much damage, and now you're gonna have to play neutral. Other than that, back one Kano ball is like super YOLO and probably not advised. To start off his combo game, you're gonna want to use the 2-4 string quite a bit. So it's the 2-4 1+3. It's kind of a simple little combo that you can do. I like to extend it with 1-1. You can get some pretty chunky damage. Unfortunately, it is a high. Starting off with the 2, that is a high, and so you're gonna have to try to maybe find some ways to open them up. If they do block a jump kick, let me set them to block. If they block the jump kick, it's actually leaves them in a pretty good spot. It leaves Kano in a pretty good spot where he can do 2-4 and sometimes whiff punish the opponent if they're trying to do a down one. So he has a 2-2 string that ends in an overhead. It's got really good range on it. As you can see, Kano can hit Devora from all the way nearly full screen. Unfortunately, if you're playing an opponent that is looking for you to be whiffing the string in their face, they're definitely going to whiff punish your ass. So you need to be careful throwing that move out, but it can catch some people sometimes. It's not the worst thing to throw out. And unfortunately, because the last hit is an overhead and not the second hit, it doesn't really enforce a mix-up. So what is Kano's main mix-up? So his main mix-up is going to be, as I said, the down one into the Kano balls, the command grabs, and then you can also do the scoop, the low scoop into the command grab, That'll get you about 25%. Pretty good damage. It is punishable. So, once again, you're going to have to be making some heavy reads with this character. Standard command grab will get 18, and then 25% on the low. Both are punishable if the opponent just ducks, as this is a high command grab. I'll show you that. So Devore is just going to be ducking, and now the command grab is going to be whiffing. Alright, and then let's go over some of Kano's tick throws. So I'm going to set Devore to block. Now, once again, none of these tick throws are truly real because the opponent can duck, so keep that in mind. But he gets a tick throw off of down 1, down 3, even though I don't really use the down 3 that much. He does get it off of down 4. He gets it off of 1-1 and 2-4. So that's all of his tick throws. So he has about 5 tick throws that will work for it. Let's go into some of his other strings that you might want to use. So his 1-1-2 string is pretty good. The 1 comes out at 8 frames. So this will be sometimes your go-to punish if your standing 2 is not fast enough. Now standing 2 comes out at 9 frames. So usually it is the best option to whiff punish, but sometimes, you know, character is -9 and you just need to get that punish, so you're gonna do 1-1-2, or you could hit confirm into 1-1 Kano ball. You can get 19% off of that. It's not a lot of damage, but it's something. If they're blocking the whole string, you're +2. They can flawless block the last hit, but because that opens up this kind of mind game where if you're blocking and the opponent does 1-1, they can do 1-1 tick throw. So either they're gonna take the tick throw or they're gonna be +2. Now it does knock them back. So if Kano is doing 1-1 in your face, sometimes the best option is probably to just duck after 1-1 and take the hit. I know it sounds stupid to take the hit, but you at least get out of his pressure and he's back to neutral. Now he can kind of follow up and kind of get on top of you, but it is kind of difficult. Like, he's back to neutral. So those are mainly the attacks that I go for, or normals I go for. His back 4 actually has really good range and is a low. So I will use that for spacing sometimes. And his forward 4 as well is an overhead. Kind of slow. Startup is kind of slow. Let's check it out. Wheel kick, 25 startup frames. Super punishable on whiff. You need to make sure that if you're going to use this move, that you hit them even at max range, like whatever it is, but you cannot whiff this move. It takes him forever to get up. As you can see, somebody can whiff punish you quite easily. But this is a pretty safe move. If the opponent is going to be throwing out projectiles, his forward 3 ducks right under the projectile and is pretty good at hitting the opponent. So that's a good move to use on a read. It is -16, I believe. 13. Okay, it is -13, so it is punishable, but it's good at closing the distance if you're full screen, getting under some projectiles, and punishing them if they do projectile too close. So he has the blown away string, forward 2, what is it, up, down 4. So this is what it looks like. So he'll stab them. It's pretty good. It leaves them right next to him. Leaves the opponent right next to him. So he's able to follow up with his command grab game, the down 1 game, or the forward 2 game, or even throw in his regular throws. Of course, it's gonna generally be best used in the corner, so I'll show you an example. So if you get a combo, you can use this to keep them generally in the corner and continue going for pressure. That's not really the combo I'm going to be using now. I found a better one where if you get a jump in, you can actually do something like this. So this leaves him in the corner. It's just better to be like fully in the corner. Gives him more advantage because he's coming out of his mirror burn. And so I think I'm going to be going with that moving forward. So let's go over some of his special moves now. So Kano has the blade toss, comes out at 20 frames. -8 on block. The meter burn is a little less, or a little more punishable actually, with -11. It's a fast projectile, and the second hit is a miss. Just a generally decent projectile. Kano is probably going to lose out to some of the more zoning heavy characters in the game, but it is a good projectile to kind of check people with every now and then. He has the rack off parry, so let me just set up Devora. So this parry is it's pretty good. It kind of, let's see the startup frames. It comes out at 11 startup frames, and you can meter burn it. Normally it'll just knock them on their butt. Does a 111, or you can meter burn it, and it'll do 171. The active frames are very long. It's almost like Joker's, as you can see. It's almost like the Joker's parry from Injustice 2. But if the opponent knows that he's going to do the parry, they can wait it out, and then it's very, very punishable. Now, the best special move, or for this variation, is the lumbar check. This is going to be your main go-to special move, along with Kano Ball, or Black Dragon Ball as it's called. Solid damage on its own does 130 or 13%. Meter burn is about 18%. And his Kano Ball, it's fast. It comes out at 10 startup frames, and it's really punishable on block, -18. So, I mean, if this hits, that's great. You can kind of start up his game. If it doesn't hit, that's really bad. You're probably gonna eat a lot of damage for it. The block, a block advantage on the meter burn one is -12. So either way, it's gonna be punishable. And then his last special move is the Black Dragon Ball in the air. So comes out at 6 startup frames. It's pretty fast. A lot of times it'll beat out most things in the air. I'm just going to set Devora to do a jumping kick. So as you can see, sometimes it's getting hit out of it, but it's because I'm not inputting the ball fast enough. But the hitbox of it is actually pretty good. Now the thing about Black Dragon Ball, the air Kano Ball, is it's super punishable on block. It takes a long time for Kano to be able to jump again, as you can see. And then if he meter burns it, you can actually duck the second hit. Now this is normally -10. Still punishable if he's really close to you, but the trick is to just duck the second hit. I'm going to control Devora, and I'll set Kano to do Kano Balls. As you can see, goes right over her head. She's open to completely punish him with whatever she wants to punish him with. Make sure it's more of a mid. He is crouching after all, so something like a down 2 probably won't work too well. But you can punish him with whatever string, whatever combo you got. And so his Kano's last thing he has here is his fatal blow. It starts up at 25 startup frames, -24 on block, as a lot of fatal blows are pretty negative on block. So it travels quite a bit of a distance. I'm gonna have to set him to 1%. So as you can see, he travels quite a bit of distance. Of course, if he's really max distance and he's going to hit you with this move, you can definitely react in time to block and then punish him. So not one of the best fatal blows in the game. It's a decent fatal blow. It's at least he's got some range on it, but definitely not one of the best ones. This variation of Kano has a few crushing blows. Let's take a look at what they are. He has a universal down 2 crushing blow, so we're not going to look at that one. But let's take a look at his throw crushing blows. So this is forward throw crushing blow. This is backwards. This is also 310. Now I'm going to set Devora to block late and see if I can get the crushing blow here. So that one does 306. Pretty good damage. His last crushing blow is the lumbar check. I'm going to set Devora to do a roll. As you can see, it does crushing blow damage. It does 220 off the bat, and then it does tick damage over time. And his last crushing blow is off of a counter or a punish on back 3. This is 190 off the bat and also does a ton of dot damage. So those are all of Kano's crushing blows in this variation. He has 6 in total. They're all pretty useful. His regular throw crushing blows are pretty good. His overhead crushing blow can be useful if they block late. And you're going to see the back 3 crushing blow a ton because it's really easy to get. The lumbar check is going to be a little difficult to get in the match, and obviously you'll see down 2 a lot. So he has some pretty useful crushing blows overall. And so yeah, that's basically it for Kano. Once again, this Kano variation is very rushdown heavy, very in your face. You just want to get in there, start doing the down 1 checks, the command grabs, the low throws, and just kind of get in there. Now, yeah, the back throw is pretty good, leaves them pretty close, but the forward throw pushes them quite a distance away. But that's basically Kano. When you get your combos, do your big damage, and you're good to go. So that's basically the Kano Ripper tournament variation. I hope you guys get a better understanding of how to play the character. And let's take a look at some of Kano's combos.
Ready to bleed. Blade. I'll job you, Dill. Job you, Dill. Come here, Dill.